Hi everyone, and welcome to the latest episode. Today is part one of a series of videos I hope to make on tech that's been available for blind and visually impaired people over the years. Today I've got three gadgets to have a look at. The Sniper's watch that Julian and I discussed in another video, a talking Franklin Spellmaster dictionary, and a very basic but very reliable machine for creating Braille in paper format. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, like, comment and subscribe, all that good stuff. Now let's get down to the content. Before we do, I'd just like to say that unfortunately, due to some technical issues, I am recording this introduction for the second time. The eagle-eyed among you may notice some visual discrepancies between the introduction and the video, and for this I can only apologise. It's entirely my fault.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the latest video. This is part one of what's going to be a look at blind tech.
Let's get down to it. So the first thing we're going to look at is the Sniper watch that Julian and I talked about in one of the autocomplete videos. Now, I've had this for many, many years. I don't wear it anymore for two reasons. The strap is broken and I've not gotten around to getting a new one. And usually, I'm not wearing it today, but usually I wear my Apple Watch Series 6, which, lovely as this is, just a little bit more technologically advanced, has a few more features that I use on a day-to-day basis. But let's have a look at this. It is just a standard watch. But if you press this button here on the side, it flips open. And around the outside, you have, at the top, you have two dots that represent the 12. And going clockwise, just one dot for each of the normal numbers. So 1 for 1, 1 for 2. Another two dots for the 3. And 2 for 4 and 5 at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. Another two dots. So basically all the quarters are marked with two dots and everything else is single dots. But you can feel where the hands are. But you have to be very, very careful because as soon as you touch it, if you touch it too hard, they move. But yeah, you can see that the little hand is pointing just between the 9 and the 10. And that the big hand is pointing down towards the bottom. So it's just after 9:30. Now I could check that with Siri. In fact, I will. What time is it?
2 hours later.
It's 9:33 p.m.
Okay. I'd say that was just after 9:30. Now, obviously, the Apple Watch will tell you the time. It will also buzz the time on your wrist. If you set it up, you can make a clenching gesture with your hand, and it will use the haptic feedback to buzz the time out on your arm. But I do like these things. I mean, as I said to Julian in the video, it was originally designed for snipers to use in the dark, so it didn't give away their positions. Yeah, some people still do use them as their daily watch, and well, before I had an Apple Watch, I was one of those people. Now, the next thing we have is this. Now, this is, some of you may remember the old pocket dictionaries, the Franklin Spellmaster. Now, in an unusual move for tech companies, they actually made a talking version. Now, this is so old. I had one of these at school. I think I got mine in 2001 or 2002. This isn't actually mine. I borrowed it from a friend. He's lent me quite a few bits for these videos. This is exactly the same model. They only made the one model, but it doesn't even have a backlit screen. If the lighting's wrong, you can't read it. But you don't really need the screen because, now, I hope the batteries are good in this. I was playing with it with my son a few days ago and it was working then, but we shall see. We turn it on.
Ready. Goodbye.
Oh.
Ready.
Okay, so it says it's ready. Now I have a standard QWERTY keyboard here. I used to be able to type really fast on this because I used it as a note taker as well. The sensitivity in my fingers has dulled over the years. But basically it works in the same way that now you would Google something to check whether you can, whether you're spelling it right. So I just try and think of a word. We'll just go with QWERTY, shall we? So
U-W-E-R-T-Y.
you type that in, you press enter. Correcting. So it doesn't recognize QWERTY.
Correction list. 7 entries. 8 Quarto.
Right, it's given me a list of things it thought I meant. Obviously, none of those are going to be the right thing, but just out of interest, if we press the down arrow, it will read out
B. Quart.
quart,
C. Quarter.
quarter,
D. Quartet.
quartet,
E. Quartz.
quartz.
End of list.
Right now, it's telling me that we've reached the bottom of the list. This is how old this is. It uses a variation on the Stephen Hawking synthesized voice. It's not quite the same, but it's very similar. But let's just pick one.
C. Quarter.
Quarter. So if I press enter,
Quarter. Working.
it's now looking for the definition of that word. So if I press this button here at the bottom of the screen, the read button, it will read out the definition for me.
Quarter. Noun. Plural. Quarters. Sense 1. 1 of 4 equal parts. Sense 2. 8 4 of $8. Also, 8 coin of this value. Sense 3. 8 district of 8 city. Sense 4. Plural. Lodgings. Example. Moved into new quarter.
Okay.
Ready.
So yeah, it tells me four equal parts, $0.25. Some people really struggle to understand that sort of synthesized speech, but I grew up with it. But this was back then an absolute game changer as far as technology was concerned. You can plug headphones into this, but I think it's just a really interesting piece of tech. Like I said, back in the day, it was an absolute game changer.
Goodbye.
And goodbye to you. Let's put that over here. I have one more thing for you today, and it's kind of a follow-on from the Braille demonstration that I gave to you the other day. This is a very old-fashioned way of representing Braille, or creating Braille, I should say. We shall have a look at how it works. Now again, I borrowed this from a friend of mine. I do have a machine for making Braille, which I will bring in and show you, but this one actually is better for videoing because it's flat. The one I have is more of a typewriter style, but that has its own benefits as well. But videoing isn't one of them. So here you have a hinged clip. Let's move that down so you can see it. Hopefully you can see it now. Now there are 2 pins here, and they correspond with 2 marks on there. Now this is basically just a clamp to hold the paper in place. And you push that down. There's 2 little spikes. They punch through the paper and hold it in place. Then you feed the paper underneath there. Again, hopefully you can see this properly. Now, these buttons here represent the keys of the individual characters that we talked about with the eggs in the other video. This is cell number 1, number 2, number 3. Because this punches the Braille through from underneath and uses a very simple mechanism, it actually writes from right to left rather than left to right. So we need to start from over here. There we go. Yeah, Braille is a very subtle language for typing in public. You can imagine machines like this are not particularly popular in a classroom environment. But okay, now we're good to go. So we're doing A, which is cell number 1. Now to do a B, similar to the demonstration I did with the iPad, is these 2 fingers. And then a C is these 2 fingers, cells number 1 and number 4. And a D, and an E, an F, and a G, and an H, and an I. I'm not going to do the whole alphabet because it'll take for ages. But if I now remove this and remove the clip, turn the piece of paper over, theoretically, sorry, just put this up. Theoretically, and yes, here we have the first 9 letters. And did I do them correctly? Hey, I could tell you guys anything. Hardly any of you will know. But A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I. I'm actually quite impressed with myself for that. I braille very, very rarely, and to use that machine properly, you actually have to braille upside down. So that's, win for me. That's everything for today. I hope you enjoyed a little run back through some of the tech from Braille history. I will have more of this stuff. It's just a case of borrowing it from people and then getting the chance to learn how to use it again and to shoot the videos. But yeah, that's all for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Buy Me a Coffee page, and I will catch you all in the next one. The way I usually braille, so you'll have to bear with me. But if you press this one here, yeah, Julian, if you don't mind cutting some of this, that'd be great.